came across a drifting ship. I took a look inside. I found a note that someone wrote that said, take her for a ride. I set a course for sights unseen, went out to open sea. To my surprise, a bunch of sailors joined along with me. Now we're sailing on the mystery ship, and all the sailors here are really hip. There isn't any cost of membership. All you gotta do is join our trip. Yeah, I'm the captain of the mystery ship, and I'm a-calling all aboard this ship. I'm really hoping that you'll enjoy it up on the mystery ship. So bring a friend and come along with us aboard the mystery ship.
Well, good evening, sailors. Good evening, sailors. I am going to be 100% dependent upon you this evening, my friends. Your brother Zoe. Like I need another challenge. Like I need another challenge in my life right now. Can you hear my voice? Would you let me know? Could you give me a 5x5 if you can hear me speaking through this microphone? Do you hear me tapping on this microphone? Do you hear me tapping on the microphone? Okay. Thank you kindly. Thank you, artist. Okay. I don't know what is going on in the studio. It's just another day at the mystery ship. I came out here late last night for a few minutes, watched a few moments of Spazzo Yeti or Omazon or somebody. Maybe it was Sloan TV. I think it was Sloan TV. Everything was working beautifully. Everything was working beautifully. Tonight, I come out here, I set up the show, I get everything ready. I'm actually on time. I was all set to go on at exactly 6 o'clock. And I put my cans on, and I can't hear anything. Nothing. There's nothing coming out of this board. I'm pulling my hair out. So there is a second place that I can take audio from, and that is right over here. So everything comes out of the board and goes into this little Focusrite over here. Well, when I plug into that, I can hear my feed. I can hear videos that I'm playing, and I can hear anything else. The only thing I can't hear is my microphone. I cannot hear my mic. So right now, I don't know if I'm too loud. I don't know if I'm just right. I'm praying. I have it set where I normally have it, so I'm hoping you can hear me. But this is seriously. I don't know what it is. Like I needed another bit of frustration. Your brother Zoe is going through some ups and downs right now in my life. And you know, we all need this. One of the other shows I was watching earlier today, in fact, just before my show came on, there was a guy who was championing overcoming. Just giving it to God and going, just keep freaking trying, and you will attain whatever it is you're trying to attain. Well, I'm trying. I am freaking trying. And not having a lot of luck right now. I have, I love a good challenge, I really do. Having some vehicular problems, which doesn't make life very easy. I think I told the story a couple weeks ago how I ran my Jeep down into a ditch and took out some mailboxes. And even though the front end was messed up and I only have one headlight that sort of wiggles like this, it was drivable. And yesterday on the way home from the store, I blew a geyser. I had, bottom line is that now my Jeep is not running. And all I have left is the Lincoln Continental, which is fine. But I'm pretty sure that the transmission is going in it. So I got 3 vehicles. They don't run. And I'm trying to get back and forth to work on a Harley, which is okay. But you can only get so many tools in a Harley, you know? Oh, I'm having a good time, people. I really am. And then I come in here to do the one little thing that changes my life and makes my world more fun, and it doesn't work. So I don't know what the FERC is going on here. But son of a. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here, because you know what this means? Within 5 minutes, I'm going to be cool, calm, collected. I'm with my people. And everything's going to be wonderful. I did, in fact, fix the Lincoln, John Rogers. I put a battery tender on it last night, and first thing this morning, I realized I didn't have it correctly clamped because I did it in the dark last night. But I fixed it this morning and rode my motorcycle again. But that means I will be driving the Lincoln tomorrow morning. And that, honestly, that always puts me in a good mood. First of all, it's a 50-year-old piece of nostalgia. There aren't any other, I assure you, there aren't any other Lincoln Continentals like it on the road these days. They're all gone. They're all crushed into little boxes. That is a rare bird out there, and I love her. I love her. My grog is just ridiculously strong tonight. I've got to run in and get some more Coca-Cola. This will kill me. I need Coke and I need ice. Mrs. Zoe, if you're listening and you wanted to be the damsel that saves your night in distress, if you could bring me some ice and another Coca-Cola from the refrigerator, that would be the greatest thing ever. But she hasn't been watching lately. She has a new cat that she's playing with, and it takes up all of her time. Well, at least I'm glad to see it. We're live at DLive. We're live at Pill Foxhole. It appears that we're live over at YouTube. Are we? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And last but not least, we are live at Rumble. There are people rumbling. So that is great. Let us say our hellos, because you know what? That puts me in a fabulous mood. I'm going to start tonight with the wonderful folks at Pill Foxhole. Yes, I am. Crazy Chuck with a K. Spoke with him on the phone today. Good to see you. Knock my socks off. What's up, little lady? You weren't sure you'd be able to be live with us, but you're coming and saying hello. Well, we're very glad that you did. And you hit the red pill. God bless you, little lady. She is down there just outside of Panama City, Florida, and I had hoped that we could have met up. I did have an absolutely wonderful time in Panama City, Florida, meeting one of our foxhole sailors, Deborah R. What a rock star of a lady. She and her husband have a beautiful new place down there. I'm very excited for their future, as I'm sure they are. Girl Patriot, what are you doing? Good to see you. John Otter in the house. What is that sticker? Is that Barney Fife on a bicycle? I don't know. I'll have to look a little closer. Due diligence. How you doing, my brother? Always good to see you. Girl Patriot in the house. Paulie, 9363 comes hauling in with the ship. My friend, God bless you. That's for you, Paulie. That is for you, my friend. Rooster, 55. Good to see you, my man. It's been a minute. Hope everything is good over there in West Texas without giving away your location. Nice to see you, my friend. 330 Ohio knows. Good to have you aboard. Willie Fix-It in the house. CL Goober. Goobage in the house. The SS Foxhole is afloatin'. Little Doll is with us. Oh, I'm tickled pink. LT, 57 FSH. Great to see you. Oh, my Lord. We've got nothing but the finest sailors this side of Tucumcari. And you know how many sailors there are over there in Tucumcari, New Mexico. So I'll take what I can get. Thank you all for joining me aboard the mystery ship. It's my pleasure to welcome you aboard. Raid on Antifa. Check your DMs, man. Dude, I never check my DMs. Look, it says there's 35 of them I haven't read. There's one from Krusty, one from Zoom, Norm, Texan, Life of Brian. I've got hundreds of them. It'll take me a minute to read them. Won't be able to do it right now. But I will get to them, I promise. I am terrible about reading DMs. I know other people use them like the telephone or like sending a text. I'm just a tard. It's just not something that, oh my God, I got to check my DMs. It's like the last thing on my mind. In fact, that's why there's 35 of them. But I bet there's some helpful information in there, and I will check it out. This is important. Raid. If it's important, that's good, and I want to know it. Can you tell me which one of the 35 DMs it could be? Like who's it from? That would be big. You'll text it to me. Okay, that's fine. That's even beautiful. Brewbark, thank you. He was in Eureka at the end of July. Got family there recently reconnected with. Eureka is a gorgeous town in northern Cal. It is home of the Redwoods. It is, man, I'll tell you what, that motorcycle ride right there, that coastal ride down 101, all the way down through Sebastopol into San Francisco, man, I'm telling you. Okay, it's from you. It's from you then. Well, I should have guessed. That's weird. It hasn't come through. I do not know where it is. There it is, way down there. Mini raid. Okay. I will get into that. I will get into that. Let's get over and say hello to our friends over at D-Live. D-Live. Amethyst Cat is in the house. Miss Kitty, wonderful to see your smiling face, little lady. I hope you're doing well. Val Kimber. I think of you all the time, my man. When I crack my morning coffee and sit in my chair and do my dailies, my devotionals, you're on a list right there. I hope you're doing well, brother. I hope you and your mom are doing well. We're on your side, my brother. We are on your side. Jayla, 17, is in the house. Good to see you. Syllabor. Man, Syllabor, I need to reach out to you on a professional level. I want to get us to start ordering doors through you. And I'm going to call you about that. I will reach out. Sleeping Stars. Good to see you. Bad Zoot. And so he texted that so Zoe could read it on air. I don't think that's what he's trying to do. I think what he was trying to do, Bad Zoot, is teach me how the, what's that new thing they have over there, the raid thing? How you, at the end of your show, you send all your people somewhere? Yeah. At some point, that will become, mission critical. Right now, I'm lucky to be able to tie my shoes. Sheeple beware. It is wonderful to see you, my friend. Hope everything is good. John Rogers says it's hot here in Missouri. Are you visiting friends there, John? I mean, I know you're from Ohio. Hot in Missouri. Where in Missouri are you? Or you don't tell me you're in St. Louis. If you're in Kansas City, man, I could set you up with a float. I could set you up with a float. It is wonderful to see all of those sailors hanging out. Peggy Dancer is here. How wonderful. How wonderful. Come on now. Come on. What is going on here? Gloria Paddock is here. I thought I saw Gloria Paddock. Okay, let's see what this says. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know what this is supposed to be. I mean, I think I know what it's supposed to be. I don't know that I know what it's supposed to be. It most definitely is interesting. It most definitely is interesting. You got me. You got me. It took a second to find you in the old text, but it should be on its way. Pretty sure you got the right number. I did get something from you. Yes, I did. You know what you're looking at. Well, not really. Not really. I'll show it to everybody. Because maybe then they can tell me what I'm looking at. Because I don't know what I'm looking at. I know it's supposed to be like... I know what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like one of those images you see when a woman's pregnant. Kind of looks like a Cupid doll. Yeah, I guess I don't think I'm in on the joke. I don't get it. Somebody's going to have to explain it to me. Yeah. If you know what that is and what it's supposed to represent, I mean, perhaps it's hysterically funny. Right over my head. Right over my head. Call on in if you know what that means, if know the relevance of that, because my new number is 541-897-0100. 541-897-0100. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Someone is pregnant with that little guy that rides the bicycle. The little guy that rides the bicycle? So I don't even know who that is. Man. Boy. Anyway, moving on. Let's get over to YouTube and say hello there. Let's get over and say hello to our YouTubers. I know that they're there. Here they are. Here they are. Watching for the first time. Cole, you have my greatest of apologies. My show normally isn't this fucked up at the beginning. I am, You ever have a tough one? I'm having a tough one out of the gate on this show tonight, buddy. It's not normally like this. Normally, it's at least sporadically fucked up. Tonight, it's fucked up from the get-go. From the get-go. Anyway, welcome. Good to see you. Rick Harmon is in the house. Our Charlie is with us. Loved your appearance on Quite Frankly in studio recently. You have such a beautiful heart. Why, thank you, Cole. That is very kind of you. I was honored to be featured as the the very first guest in the monthly, quite frankly, newsletter. That got right to my heart. That the girl did a fabulous job on it. I love her. I know her name, Krista Roman. Wonderful. She and Frank's wife, Lauren, both were part of it. I thank them both. Boy, the enchiladas are coming back around for a second go, for a second taste. Wow. Denise is with us. Good to see you, Denise. Our Charlie, how are you doing? Good to see you. 208 Outdoors. How is it going, my friend? Phil Brad in the house? Oh, this is great. We've got all kinds of sailors showing up tonight on most of the big channels, which is great. Wait a minute. Cole, I turned you into a mod. Okay. Yeah. The next time you say something, you should be blue. You should be blue. All right. Tonight, your brother Zoe, as I mentioned this before. I mentioned this before. Years ago, when I first started my show, I was really caught up in news. And I thought I might have something to contribute. But then reality stepped in. And when I was looking at my contemporaries and the extraordinary job that they do on news, I'm talking people like, back at the time, people like Red Pill 78, Craig Mason, Average Joe Patriot. How many millions of news shows are there out there? 412 Anon and his wonderful news show. Scotty, Woke Societies and his wonderful news show. There are tons and tons of news shows out there. And I thought, no, I can't do a show about news because, first of all, I work too much. Fact. By the time I figure out what something is, it's 3 days old. No, I want to do something different with my show. And that's how we got the mystery ship. A lot of times it's a mystery what I'm going to talk about even 2 hours before the show. Sometimes I'm absolutely clueless. But every now and then I get a wild hair and I come up with a good idea. And tonight I actually am going to share some news with you. But it isn't the kind of news that you think it is. I looked for stories that are so bizarre and so wild that you would barely believe them. I don't know if I believe them, but I must insist they are true. Some of them might be a little dated by now. Some of them are fresh. One of them's right from today. So there's just all news stories that I think we can get a laugh at. And I'll tell you what, if anybody needs a laugh right now, it's the son of a bitch sitting in this chair right now. I need a good one. This is driving me crazy. I'm trying to figure out what this is and what this means. It must mean something. I can make out a face. Is it supposed to be somebody famous? Is it supposed to be somebody that I should recognize? Jenna Seppi. She's been working 2 jobs. I know how you feel, darling. That's what I'm doing. I broke Zoe at the start of the show. Yeah, Raid, I got to tell you, I appreciate you sending that to me. I just don't have a clue what it's supposed to mean. I'm really giving it my best shot. I can make out a face. Kind of looks like a Cupid doll. I don't know. I just don't know. Can you tell me something? Is it supposed to be funny? Like, should I be laying on the floor laughing right now? Is everybody else laughing and I look like a dunderhead? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so What I do have for you here, I'm going to knock that down. I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to minimize that. And then I'm going to go here. Okay. All right. Well. I'm going to call you after the show, Raid, so you can explain that to me because I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad day. All right. Folks, we will be back immediately following this little video right here. This gives you approximately 2 minutes to take the dog out, run and use the bathroom, refresh your drink, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to dash into the house and refresh my drink. And then when this video is over, I'm going to share some news stories with you that are likely going to make you scratch your head as much as I'm scratching my head over that image of whoever it is in the womb. I just don't know. I don't know. We'll be back right after this. Please be there on the other side. I long to see you. I long to see you on the other side. Oh. Whoop. Whoop. Let's try that. Let's try this.
Why do we sail upon the mystery ship? 'Cause we never know where we'll go next.
This is where Zoso likes to take a moment to thank the extraordinary people who come and hang out with me, doing what we do, the sailors. I particularly want to thank the ones who support the program in whatever manner it is that you support this show. One of the best and most wonderful ways that you could support this show is merely by telling somebody else about it, helping the show to grow, spreading it, spreading the word on your whatever it's your Facebook or your Gab or whatever social media you have out there, I notice that there's new faces popping up here and there, and I am ever so thankful to see them. Those of you who take it a step further and send some gold pills or some lemons along, God bless you. You really make the world go round. You do. Without you, I don't know where I'd be. I don't. But I do know that it's ever so much more fun when you're here with me. When you are here with me. Let me get back to reality here. Whatever reality it is that I have. Raid sent me another text. It says, unfortunately, the rest of the ultrasound pictures don't like to send from my phone, so it gets to have the face of that doll from Saw. And Joanne's pregnant with my baby. That's the ultrasound. Okay, you're not kidding, right? That part is true. You're telling me you're about to become a father, and if that is true, my friend, a hearty congratulations. If that picture was in jest, well, it went right over my pointed little head. Only because I'm really, really frustrated right now with my not being able to hear myself and all that good stuff. Dude, is that really the truth? You are pregnant? You are having a baby? Congratulations. That is phenomenal news. Phenomenal news. Here's to Radon on Tifa. Good for you, my friend. May I? Well, there is no joke. It really is happening, right? You really are about to become a father. That is awesome. That is awesome. Good for you. Can I ask how that happened? Do you remember? Do you remember how that happened? I seem to be forgetting these things. All right, tonight, folks, tonight, in my never-ending search for unbelievable news that will blow your mind, I have a few items to share with you. This one is a news item that I just can't quite believe. And it's this, folks, this is true. This is absolutely true. Now, the last time I looked at my phone, I saw that it was August 14th of 2024. But would you believe, people, that the biggest band in the world right now, I don't think that you're going to believe this. The biggest band in the world right now is Creedence Clearwater Revival. Can you see that? The biggest band in 2024 is Creedence Clearwater Revival. And nobody even knows why. Here it is. 50 years. Actually, more than that. 55 years? Do you know that the Creedence Clearwater Revival album called Chronicle has re-entered the Billboard charts? Now, I'm not kidding you here. I am not kidding you here. 55 years. 55 years later, Creedence has reemerged on the Billboard charts. It says, I couldn't believe this. CCR are the most awesomely bizarre case of a classic band that's bigger than ever right now, without anyone really noticing. Their greatest hits collection, called Chronicle, is riding high on the Billboard 200 every week somewhere in the 30s or 40s. It's currently number 39, right ahead of the new Ariana Grande album. I don't even know who that is. Ariana Grande? Never heard of her. It's higher than anything by the Beatles or the Stones or Zeppelin or Queen. It's crazy because there's no star power involved, no cult of personality, no Freddie Mercury, no Stevie Lindsay, no backstory or drama or charisma, no biopic or TV placement, and God knows, no sex appeal. Just four anonymous flannel dudes and a bunch of perfect guitar songs about rivers. This is no joke. Creedence Clearwater Revival is back on the charts. I think that's fabulous. I think that is that's like the best news story I've heard. Well, my friend the Texan, I saw him out there. I saw the Texan. I called him a couple weeks ago because I found a news story that said that, of course, this was so up his alley. I guess Waylon Jennings' son was screwing around at the house, digging in a closet, and he found a treasure trove of previously unreleased Waylon Jennings songs that are soon to see the light of day. So I got my Creedence coming. Texan's got his Waylon coming. Folks, 2024 is shaping up to be one hell of a good year. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Oh, I can say that grog is a lot more palatable when you add Coke to it. Holy shit. Holy crap. All right. Well, let's get to our next exciting news story, shall we? Okay. These are news stories that, oh no, I closed the whole thing out. Oh, you dummy. All right. Fortunately, I have rocket fast internet these days, so it won't be anything so bizarre. Okay, these are weird and funny news stories. Weird and funny news stories. You may or may not believe this, but I'm telling you, it is the truth. It is the truth. I'm trying to put it on the screen for you. There we go. There we go. A stowaway groundhog is elevated into a local icon. Some frozen custard and some mini golf customers in Pennsylvania have made a startling discovery that elevated a humble groundhog to icon status. Let's read that story. Pennsylvania groundhog is making a name for himself in something other than predicting an early or late spring. An intrepid varmint dubbed Colonel Custard, so named for the frozen custard shop and mini golf outlet where he was discovered, was found stowed away in a pestle full of stuffed animal prizes in an arcade game 2 weeks ago. Players were maneuvering a mechanical claw to pluck toys from the glass case when they suddenly realized a real live groundhog was blinking back at them. Okay. I gotta tell you, I don't know what kind of news stories are fun for you, but this one, to me, is so much more fun than trying to tell me that Kamala just needs to win one more swing state and she'll beat Trump. Okay, give me news stories like this all day long. Here's another beautiful one. A homemade aquarium appeared in a Brooklyn tree bed. True story now. True freaking story. A homemade aquarium appeared in a Brooklyn tree bed. Then came the goldfish heist. Where is it? Where is it? A couple of
Some
longtime
people, they look at it like, oh, it's animal cruelty.
A couple of longtime Brooklyn residents were lounging in the heat last week, staring at a sidewalk tree pit, often flooded by a leaky fire hydrant, when they came up with the idea for a makeshift aquarium. We started joking about it. What if we added fish? Since the water is always there in a puddle, why not turn this into something that's more interesting? So, after fortifying the edges of the tree bed with rocks and brick, they bought 100 common goldfish from a pet store for $16 and dumped them in. The appearance of peanut-sized fish swimming around the shallow basin quickly became a neighborhood curiosity, drawing visitors who dubbed it the Hancock Street Bed Stewie Aquarium. But as videos and news stories about fish pit have circulated online, the project has drawn concern from city officials and backlash from animal rights advocates. In the early hours of Wednesday morning, two neighborhood residents, Emily Campbell and Max David, carried out a rescue mission. Using nets and plastic bags, they pulled about 30 fish from the 2-inch deep waters. They say they were rescuing the fish from inhumane conditions, but the operation has sparked a roiling debate about gentrification of this historically black neighborhood, which has seen an influx of young white residents in the last few years. Folks, you want to screw up a perfectly good black neighborhood? Try bringing in a couple of honkies. They just don't know how to have a good time. Next thing you know, they're putting goldfish in your tree beds. I'm telling you, you just can't trust them white sons of bitches. I'm telling you. Okay. This is an interesting story. I wonder if Mrs. First of all, I need to ask TL, how is Mrs. Spud doing? Is TL here? I'm dying to know how Mrs. Spud is doing. A 19th century shipwreck. Folks, you won't believe this. A 19th century shipwreck is filled with champagne bottles, and Sweden won't allow anyone a sip. Copenhagen, Denmark. No one will be allowed to fish out any of the nearly 100 bottles of 19th century champagne and mineral water nestled in a shipwreck off southern Sweden without proper authorization, officials said Wednesday. Although the wreck's location has been known since 2016 and is registered in Sweden's National Antiquities Office cultural environment, it was only on July 11th that Polish scuba divers found the precious cargo. The ship, which sits at about 58 meters, 190 feet. I've dived that deep before. 190 feet deep off the coast of southern Sweden, county of Blekinge, was found by divers while they were checking spots of interest about 37 kilometers south of the Swedish Baltic Sea island of Öland. Wine and water experts have quickly contacted the divers and have been vying to carry out laboratory tests on the contents of the bottles, according to the divers' leader. However, Swedish authorities have put their foot down and labeled the sunken ship an ancient relic, which the county says requires a clear and strong protection to remain intact. You must not damage the ancient remains, which also includes taking items from the wreck. By that we mean champagne bottles without the permission of the country. Magnus Johansson, a county official told the Associated Press the champagne bottles are a fantastically well-preserved find that gives us a snapshot of shipping and life aboard the end of the 19th century. Well, how about them apples? You know? Now, let me tell you a little story. My aunt and uncle, back in the 1970s, were scuba divers. They specialized in wreck diving. Like if you lost your boat, they would go down and they would hook cables up to it and do whatever was necessary to locate it and get it back to the surface, or at least get it salvaged. They made their life living in the Florida Keys. My aunt shared with me an interesting story about how they dove down to this boat on the ocean floor, and while they were digging around in it, my uncle found a jar. She said a giant mayonnaise jar filled with Quaaludes. All I can tell you is those didn't make it back to the owners. Apparently they were lost at sea. Does anybody even remember Quaaludes? Put an X in the chat if you're old enough to remember Quaaludes. For those of you who are too young, back in the 1970s, they actually used to prescribe a drug called a Quaalude. They were either printed under the name Lemon or Roar, R-O-R-E-R. 714 was the number. And here's what's fascinating about Quaaludes. If you popped a Quaalude and drank a beer, it was the equivalent of drinking a case of beer. I mean, you got furked up. Seriously furked up. Rick Carmen knows what I'm talking about. Bad Zoot knows what I'm talking about. Gloria Paddock even knows what Quaaludes were for. Wow. Due diligence? LT57 FSH? Yes. Kind of funny. Kind of funny how those Quaaludes didn't make it back. Just didn't make it back to the proper owner. Okay. I've got more bizarre stories for you right here. Seriously, bizarre news stories that you'll never believe. You'll have a hard time believing that this is news. Now, if I was to do a news show on a regular basis, this is the kind of news that you would get from me 24/7, because this is my kind of news. It's my kind of news. Whoop. Let's go here. Let's go here. These days, okay, hang on. All right. This is a news story out of Russia. The Russian spy whale that was too friendly to leave. So when you first read in May 2019 that an alleged Russian spy whale had been found in Norwegian waters and was playfully refusing to leave, you probably double-checked to see if you were reading The Onion, doing a spoof on Aquaman, right? Honestly, who could blame you? But alas, no, it was the Washington Post, and this craziness really went down. Basically, a charming beluga whale discovered near the city of Hammerfest, Norway, kept seeking out human attention, even allowing people to pet its nose. Now, wild belugas are certainly social butterflies, but they don't usually nuzzle up to people. So this behavior was awfully suspicious. Sure enough, the whale was found to be wearing a harness that said, Equipment St. Petersburg. Gasp! As it happens, there's a long-standing theory that the Russian Navy has conducted a special operations sea mammal program for years and using whales as their spies. No, the animals don't get paid, though the Russian Defense Ministry did post an ad in 2015 offering $24,000 to 5 dolphins, which definitely raised some eyebrows. According to the BBC, the Russian Navy denied these accusations of using whales as a spy. When interviewed, Russian Colonel Viktor Baronet said, "We have military dolphins for combat roles. We don't cover that up." Which is apparently supposed to be less bizarre or frightening somehow. Now, that is a using animals to spy for you? You got to forgive me. I am so freaking thirsty. I wish there was some rum in that. Okay, this one was a little bit more bizarre. I'm going to let that one go. But here is a news article for you people. Your brother Zoe brings you nothing but the best news right here. Arizona driver survives when a giant cactus punctures his windshield. Somehow, the story would be easier to imagine if it involved a giant walking cactus monster like Cactuar in Final Fantasy, but no, it was just a regular old saguaro cactus on the outskirts of Tucson, and somehow this dude got the entire thing wedged into his car. As the Associated Press explains, the Arizona driver, whose name was not publicized, probably to his vast relief, may have been inebriated, which would help explain the whole thing. Evidently, he was crossing over the median when, through some disastrous swerve or another, he managed to get the entire trunk of this saguaro cactus off the ground and straight into the middle of his windshield. Now, if you've ever been unlucky enough to get pricked by a cactus, you're probably wincing at the thought of just how many of those quills he had to get pulled out afterwards. 20, 50, 100? The Associated Press says he escaped injury. So maybe 0? Quills aside, at least he survived. Now, I'm here to tell you, every cactus that has those pointy little sumbitches on them, man, oh man, they will F you up. One of my favorite videos is of a, I think it's a FedEx delivery guy. And he walks up to this person's front porch and they have one of those Ring cameras on it. And it shows him, he drops the package off and then he has to stop and take a picture of it. So he turns around and he takes his camera and he sort of squats to take the picture, but unbeknownst to him, there was a potted cactus immediately behind him. And this poor bastard jumps up in the air and he's going, "Oh no, 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 no." You could tell he had about 12 of them sumbitches in him. And, I felt for the poor guy. I really felt, man, that was just, oh man. Not my idea of a good time. I felt so badly for him. Okay, here's another news story. This is a bit of absurdity, but what's wrong with that? That's what this show is all about, being absurd. A man buys an $8 million island and then allegedly tries to steal coffee makers from Kmart. Rich people have the dumbest priorities sometimes. Take Andrew Lippy. According to CBS News, the guy purchased an entire landmass, Thompson Island, off the coast of Key West for $8 million. Now, as if that wasn't enough proof that he had more money than he knew what to do with, the Miami Herald reports that he'd also purchased the actual house used for season 17 of the MTV reality show, The Real World. Just for kicks, he put it on an Airbnb for $9.99 a night. Now, the point here isn't to gloat over this middle-aged guy's riches, but rather to point out that Lippy wasn't some downtrodden dude in need of a quick buck, and that's why it was so utterly nonsensical that when, in April 2019, he was arrested for trying to steal products worth the mountainous sum of $300 from Kmart, of all places. Police said his method was the old fake return trick, where he attempted to return the boxes for such items as a Keurig, a Hamilton Beach coffee maker, and light bulbs, only for the boxes to be found stuffed with other items like a basketball. Ever heard that saying about how you can be penny smart and dollar stupid? This dumb idea got him charged with grand theft. No worries, he can definitely afford a good lawyer. There's some bizarre people out there. Seriously, there are, you know, don't ask me. I got in trouble once. I love sharing little stories like this. This is a real Zoso story I'm about to share with you, okay? I think I shared this before, but what the hell? What the hell? The rum's a-flowing and I'm feeling good, and I did some stupid things in my life. I'll share one of them with you. So years ago, my friends and I think I was 21, 22 maybe, somewhere in there, you know, hoping to be a rock star and working at some, I think I worked at the time at a display factory. I would build displays, you know, minimum wage type job, maybe a little bit better than minimum wage. But my friends and I got a wild idea that we were going to go to Lake Tahoe. We were going to rent a house for a week and have the time of our lives. And that we did. So all of us, we saved up our money, and the day finally came. We all hopped in my Malibu, my 1964 Malibu Super Sport, and we drove up to a little town called Truckee. And we had rented a cute little cabin, and we were all set to have just the most perfect week of skiing. We had so many places right there. Alpine Meadows, Heavenly Valley, Squaw Valley was right there. And Truckee itself had great... skiing was something we were going to have the time of our lives. So the very first day of our week-long ski trip, I am racing downhill. And when I mean downhill, I mean double X Black Diamond, okay? Me, my drummer, and my buddy, our guy who was our roadie. And the two of us are just neck and neck, we are tucked. And out of the hills comes our buddy. And his idea was, he was coming down an even steeper mountain. He thought he was going to cut in front of us and spray the two of us with snow as he made this wild left-hand turn in front of the two of us, just going 90 miles an hour. He miscalculated, and I hit him full speed. I hit him so hard, his skis stayed right where he was. I took him out of his skis, and the two of us tumbled. And by the time I came to a stop, I'm sitting there. My skis never came off. And I look straight ahead, and I'm looking at, on my left leg, I'm looking at the square end of the ski next to the point of my right end, and the point is going backwards. My leg, my knee was turned 90 degrees sideways. I was screwed. So they carefully undid my ski. They called ski patrol. Next thing you know, they take my leg and they turn it around the right way, and kapop! I was in agony. So I went to the hospital. My friends continued skiing for the rest of the day. And when they met me at the end of the day, I had a brand new cast from my crotch all the way down to my ankle. And you'd say, so why is this a story that you want to share? What kind of a story is this? Well, bear with me. So each and every day, the entire week, now, may I remind you, I saved up for months for this trip. I was so looking forward to this. I loved skiing back then. Just lived for it. Lived for it. Each and every day, I would get my crutches. I'd hobble down to my Malibu, throw the crutches in the back. They'd all climb in. I'd drop them off at the ski slopes, pick them up at the end of the day. And it was, I mean, I sat in a room with a TV, a black and white TV with one channel that, you know. So after 6 days of this, I'm just beside myself, pissed off. So on the very last day, when I dropped them off, I didn't go back to the little cabin. I went to the bar, and I started drinking. And I started drinking heavily. And I mean, very heavily. I ended up taking my Malibu for a drive, and I went off the road and plowed into a giant pile of snow. And this really nice guy in a Jeep hooked me up and pulled me out, and I drove back to the ski slopes. It was almost time to pick them up. I figured, what the hell? I'll wait this last half hour, and I'll pick them up. So I hobble up these stairs. Mind you, I got a cast from my crotch to my ankle, and I'm blasted. I am shit-faced drunk. No business getting behind the wheel of an automobile. So there's a set of stairs at Heavenly Valley that when you're the skiers at the end of the day, they come down these stairs, and it just happens to be the same alleyway where they sell you the tickets in the morning. So I'm leaning against one of the ticket booths, the glass doors of one of the ticket booths, and I'm waiting for these guys to show up. And next thing I know, the glass door popped open behind me. So, being in my inebriated state, I looked around. There wasn't a soul around. And I kind of pushed open the glass door to see what was in there. And a bunch of stupid stuff, pair of scissors and whatever kind of accoutrement you would have at a ski selling location. It's where you bought your lift tickets in the morning. But the more I looked, I saw there was a pair of ski pants all rolled up sitting there. And I don't know what possessed me, but I grabbed these ski pants and I tucked them underneath my arm, and I took my crutches and I hobbled over to the other side of the hallway. So the ticket booths are here, other wall is here, I'm leaning against that wall, and here's the giant staircase, and my friends are going to show up any minute. Well, wouldn't you know it, about 15 minutes later, somebody notices that the glass door is open. They open the door, and they look over, and they see me, and the next thing I know, I've got 4 people around me. And where'd you get the ski pants? Anyway, the story it was crazy. It involves all kinds of bad juju. I was wearing somebody else's jacket that wasn't mine. I accidentally picked up somebody else's hoodie in the bar upstairs, and in the pocket was a credit card receipt from a stolen credit card. So next thing you know, the police are breathing down my neck, and wow, it was like one of the worst experiences of my life. I'll never forget it as long as I live. Talk about doing dumb things. Don't steal. If you're a millionaire and you can afford to buy an island, man, don't go stealing. Don't go stealing coffee pots from Kmart. That's all I can tell you. Oh, boy. All right. Here's another beautiful news story for you. You're really going to like this one. I liked this one. A zoo. A zoo allows you to name a cockroach after your ex for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is a beautiful day to spend with your beautiful, loving partner, if you have one. However, if you are stuck spending Valentine's Day brooding over a bitter breakup, then you would have been delighted to know that there is a zoo in El Paso, Texas, that wants to give you the opportunity to get some passive aggressive revenge, according to National Public Radio. The El Paso's Quit Bugging Me event allows spurned lovers to name a cockroach after their ex. Why? Because on Valentine's Day, you would have the opportunity to watch a poor roach named John or Jane or whatever get ripped apart and devoured by bloodthirsty meerkats. If this sounds awesome to your lonely ears, well, you aren't the only one. KFOX 14 reported that over 6,000 people submitted their former partner's names when the cockroaches were released on Valentine's Day and then viciously chomped down by the meerkats. Only a dozen people attended in person, but over 1,000 watched the Facebook live stream. Not only that, the zoo made over $3,000 in donations from the whole shebang, so the event was definitely a big success. Well, for everybody except the cockroaches. So there you have it. Oh. That is oh, I love stories like this. I love stories like this. This is a good one. This is a good one, people. This is a good one. A message in a bottle makes it across the ocean after 21 years. Wow. Wow. Look at that. At least once in your life, you might have been tempted to write down some details about yourself on a scrap of paper, stuff it in a bottle, and send that SOS to the world. As the police sang way back in 1979, honestly, nobody ever finds these bottles usually. Sometimes, though, they turn up in unexpected ways. Back in 1998, according to the United Press International, a 13-year-old Hampshire boy wrote a note stating simply enough, "Hello, my name is Matt Rhodes. Please write back. Short and sweet." The kid wedged this into a plastic bottle and cast it off into the blue expanse, presumably never to see it again. For the next 2 decades, that little bottle swam almost 3,000 miles across the ocean, and in 2019, it was found on a Scottish beach by the family of Mike Bolam. Rather than replying via another bottled message, seriously, it's not a reliable mail system, Bolam contacted the now adult Matt Rhodes on Twitter. Rhodes, now a 34-year-old musician and lead vocalist of the Boston-based metal band And Then There Were None, told the Newburyport News that if he'd realized the bottle was going to turn up a few decades later, he probably would have written something a little more substantial. But hey, the bottle's headline-making return did coincide with the band's comeback tour, so that's some pretty awesome timing. I have always wondered about that. I have sent out several messages in bottles in my life. Of course, they're all to old addresses that don't apply anymore. So another thing I used to do when we were young is we would take helium balloons and tie on like a little army man to it with a note. You know, this was launched X day of what year, in 1971, from Northridge, California. Of course, you know, obviously the pen isn't going to hold up after millions of years. And we would let these things go, wondering if maybe one day, you know, it flew up in the air and popped somewhere, and maybe somebody might find it. Never heard back from anybody. Did it? Am I the only one who's ever done something like that? Put an X in the. I want you to put an X in the chat if you have a. Sorry, Chuck, I called you by accident. Called you by accident. Put an X in the chat if you've ever sent out a message in a bottle or ever sent out a message on a helium balloon expecting a return. I'm just curious if I'm the only crazy son of a bitch who's done something like that. Okay, so here is oh boy, this is one of those sad stories. This is a very sad story. I wonder if any of you caught there was a news article a while back about, I think it was a 30 or 32-year-old young man whose mom and dad took him to court and begged the judge to evict him because the kid wouldn't move out. He wouldn't get a job. He wouldn't get on with his life. He just kept leeching off of his parents, and they had enough, and they had him legally removed from their house. This is a similar story. This one's real story here. Real freaking story. This guy sued his parents for extremely uncomfortable reasons. As Jerry Seinfeld once joked, moving back into your mom and dad's old house isn't usually a sign that adult life is moving forward smoothly. To be fair, though, things happen, which is why one unnamed Indiana man took refuge with his folks following a 2016 divorce. He was able to move out again 10 months later, but in 2019, this 40-year-old man decided to sue his parents for $87,000, according to the Associated Press, over a pretty weird moving-related incident. What sort of catastrophe could possibly be worth ruining your family relationships in such an expensive way? Well, the reason is awkward. The man claimed that his parents had thrown away a dozen boxes of his adult films and magazines, including titles like Big Bad Grannies, which he estimated to possess a total of worth of $29,000. Now, sure, that's a lot of money to throw away, but why would anyone, especially a man seemingly broke enough to move back with his parents for almost a year, have invested such a ridiculous sum of money into that sort of thing? You could rent your own place for a year or two for that amount. According to the Detroit Free Press, the man's evidence of wrongdoing includes an email from his father who evidently said he was doing his son a big favor. Not exactly the kind of conversation you want to share over the Thanksgiving dinner table, would it be? Wow. You know, I gotta say this. I've never quite understood the attraction of porn. I mean, I know it's out there, and I know that some people participate in it, but when I think I was 19 years old, and me and three of my buddies went to an X-rated movie house. This is the late 70s. And it was the only porn movie I ever saw in my whole life. That was it. I mean, I still remember the premise even. It was that, you know, most porn movies aren't really big on plot. They don't win a lot of Academy Awards. Okay? But I just don't see what the gig is. I mean, wouldn't you really rather be doing it yourself with somebody real instead of watching somebody else do it? I mean, To me, that makes perfect sense. I just don't get it. I don't get the attraction. And there are people who are like hopelessly addicted to it. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, here's a good one. This is for all of you who have ever flushed your drugs down the toilet. You know, the cops are coming, so you flushed everything. I'm old enough to actually remember those days. And yes, I've had to do that. Stop flushing your drugs, folks. Crystal methamphetamine is an insanely dangerous drug. So you don't blame police for being too cautious. Nonetheless, the Loretto Police Department of Tennessee probably went a bit overboard in a July 13, 2019 Facebook post when, in the midst of describing the real risks posed by flushing meth down the toilet and thus contaminating the sewer water supply, they not only expressed worries about what meth-addled ducks or geese might do, but also cautioned that if discarded drugs floated down the Shoal Creek or the Tennessee River, it might create meth gators. Yes, you read that correctly. Meth gators. Wait, somebody call it the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Would the meth gators have super strong muscles? Hey, maybe Walter White could cameo as their villainous leader. Not surprisingly, the bizarre warning about meth gators earned widespread mockery, appearing on news outlets like CNN and NBC News. In fact, the BBC even interviewed Loyola University's Dr. Robert A. Thomas, who debunked the meth gator concept by pointing out that only a truly colossal amount of methamphetamine could have any impact on those hardy alligator bodies. The mayor said it was a joke, and so does the Loretto Police Department. Well, let me tell you what isn't a joke. Let me tell you what is not a joke. I have a news story here. I have a news story right here. Let me find this one. Okay, here we go. This one's for you. All right, people. This is from the New York Post now. The New York Post. Where is my cursor? Where's my freaking cursor? Okay. Alligators in the sewer myth is true. City workers find out in jaw-dropping video. New York might not have those infamous alligators in the sewer, but Florida has the real thing. A work crew in Orlando, Florida, proved the NBC urban legend was a Sunshine State reality after discovering a 5-foot gator residing in a sludge-filled pipe. Footage of the scaly subterranean terror is currently stirring up a crap storm in the city of Oviedo City Administration Facebook page. Just another reason not to go wandering down into the stormwater pipes, a spokesperson said of the new underground sensation, which was spotted Friday doing a routine pothole inspection. A public works team has dispatched a robot equipped with a camera to get to the root of why a cluster of craters kept appearing on the road above, according to the Jam Press report. The workers soon found something far more terrifying lurking beneath the surface. They came across a 5-foot alligator. The mortifying moment captured in the video footage recalled the enduring big city myth that inspired the 1980 B-movie Alligator, and further popularized by the scene stealer Drew Barrymore in Steven Spielberg's 1982 sci-fi classic E.T., but is it really a metropolitan myth? Some New Yorkers might disagree after witnessing a gator crawl out of a drain in Queens back in 2010. Now, I have to share a story here. I love sharing stories with us. My boss had a dad who was unlike any other. This guy was he was an ordained minister, and he was a professional wrestler. He used to go in the 1950s. He used to go by the name the Masked Marvel, and he used to wrestle against Freddie Blassie and those type of guys back in the golden age of wrestling. He also he was a plastering contractor, and he had a crew of guys. I mean, a big crew, like 100 men. He used to tell me stories that back in the day they used to wear ties. They used to have a uniform with their name on them with a tie, and they used to wear ties when they were plastering. But one of my boss's favorite stories was of his dad coming home absolutely stinking drunk one night. And he had 2 buckets, 2 5-gallon buckets filled with water. And he sat there in the bathroom laughing his drunken ass off as one by one he flushed these baby alligators down the toilet. According to my boss, he must have flushed like 30 or 40 of them down there. Now, I don't know where he got baby alligators, but my boss wasn't one to stretch the truth. So all I can tell you is if you live in Los Angeles, those gators are probably 20, 25 years old now. They're probably getting pretty big. I would not go wandering through the sewers in Los Angeles if I were you. That is probably going to wrap up our news show for tonight. I have a couple more stories, but honestly, I just don't know if I'm... Let me look one more time. I've got some stupid ones. There is a burglar in Toronto who got busted. He accidentally took a picture of his face on a photocopy machine, and that's how they caught him. I got another one about a... oh boy, I don't know. I don't think that these are worth... I really don't know if these are worth sharing. Some of them were... Here, I'll share one of them. I'll share one of them with you. What the hell? What the hell? That's not the one. Oh, well, I lost it. So that's telling me I wasn't supposed to do that anyway. Sound is almost good tonight. Why, thank you, Abe. I appreciate that very much. All right. Folks, I'm going to sneak on out of here a few minutes early. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for coming and hanging out with me as I shared my silly stories. I really actually had a couple of more great news stories, and something happened at the beginning of the show. That's why I can't hear myself. In fact, I need to spend the next 25 minutes figuring out what the hell is going on with my soundboard. So that's why I'm going to call it a little early. Plus, I need to make sure my Lincoln's running so I have something to drive to work tomorrow. But Friday night, normally on Friday night at 6 p.m., I would be doing the mystery ship. But I believe now, with my new rocket ship internet, the Texan and I are going to do our show together. We are going to do the big show this coming Friday night. It will be live on Pilled Foxhole. But I am also going to attempt to broadcast it to my other channels. Now, it didn't work before because of the fact that my internet was so ridiculously slow. But now that I have lightning fast internet, I have a funny feeling it's going to work like gangbusters. So we'll find out. This Friday night, we'll be trying our very first run at it. My fingers are crossed. My fingers are crossed. My brother, the Texan, and I have got a bit of work to do between now and then, and I've got some serious freaking problems to fix. I got to get a vehicle up and running in the next 48 hours, or man, it's going to be a very difficult week next week. But just so you know, not a regular mystery ship on Friday. Be looking for me to broadcast this new, The Big Show. The Texan and I are going to take our show to Friday night, and we're going to rock your world. All right, I'm going to take this moment to release some pills, some gold bills. Thank you to the wonderful people who donated over there at Pilled Foxhole. Let me shout out some names. Sean Joe, Victoria, Sean Joe, Porpoiseville, Sean Joe, Victoria Lee, Sloan TV, Brewbark, Rooster 55 a couple of times, Paulie, 9363, Girl Patriot, Due Diligence. Thank you all. Thank you all kindly for your support of this program. You guys are just freaking amazing, and I greatly appreciate it. Now, over here in Lemonland, we have no shortage of happy souls and happy sailors. Let's see what we can do. Oh, my goodness. We've got people like Rick Carmen and Jayla17, Syllabore, Willie Fixit, Sleeping Stars, Bad Zoot, Gloria Paddock. They're all supporting this program with lemons, and I love them for it. I absolutely love them for it. I'm going to put a little something. Thank you, TL Spud. And Amethyst Cat. Thank you, too, Kitty. I'm going to put a little something into the treasure chest. Let's put a little something into the treasure chest and see. Let's see if we can make it past the trolls tonight. That's my fingers are crossed. My fingers are crossed. All right, ready? Let's see what this does out there. It looks like it's coming to you in 20 seconds. All right. So, as a reminder, this coming Friday night, not going to be a regular mystery ship. It will be the big show. I will be hosting on my channels, so come and look for me. But what you're going to find is the Texan and I doing our video show, and I'm going to broadcast it on multiple channels while he sends it to the Foxhole. Then on Saturday, of course, we have my classic rock show, as always. So that is exclusively on Pilled Foxhole and D-Live. Come and join me then, won't you? Come and join me then. Thanks to all the wonderful people who came and hung out here tonight. Look at this. The luckiest followers at D-Live are Jayla17, Gloria Paddock, Bad Suit, Amethyst Cat, Sleeping Stars. We got nothing but sailors, no trolls. We have had our lemons ripped off by trolls before, and that is infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. All right, I've got to tear apart my board and figure out what's going on here tonight. I'm going to let you wonderful people go a little bit early, and wish me luck, because I'm telling you, there's something going on around here, and I don't need another gremlin. I don't need another gremlin right now. All right, let's have a look at the mystery ship logo, and I am going to play that along with some cozy little sounding waves. There they are. Oh, there they are. Just picture yourself floating along in the water, making your way down to shore. Sailors, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Know that I love you a lot. And we'll see you Friday and Saturday aboard the mystery ship. Good night, everybody.